Helicopter pilots simulate emergency situations like engine failure, so they'll be ready in case of a crisis. Now, the pilot of Life Flight probably used what's called auto-rotation to save the lives of his passengers. Reporter Joe Oliver went up in Sky 5 today with pilot Frank Beal to find out just what auto-rotation is.
Frank Beal flies Sky 5 almost every working day. The former Army captain sharpened his skills as a helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War. He knows that practicing auto-rotation can mean the difference between life and death when a helicopter loses its engine power.
That's the only choice you have in a helicopter. You obviously in a fighter or something like that, they punch out of it. In a helicopter, you ride it down.
Frank performed the maneuver several times.
Let's try another 180 and see how that feels.
You feel your stomach drop even before you hear the engine die and watch the gauges go down.
And we come back on the airspeed to 80 knots, which is max glide for this particular helicopter. The rotor system is driven by aerodynamic forces coming through the rotor system, but the main thing he has to consider is airspeed and altitude and whether he has a suitable landing spot to complete the auto-rotation.
Not only does a pilot have to know what to do if the engine fails, he has to be ready before it does.
A lot of times you might be over the trees or in a situation where you may not have a landing site, but generally speaking, you're always looking for a spot to go, and I'm sure that's what he was doing.
You can hear and feel the rotors flutter as the copter floats to Earth. But in this case, Frank made the engine fail, and we both knew we would land safely. The passengers and pilot of this Life Flight didn't know the engine would fail or if this ride would be their last. Helicopter pilots practice auto-rotation maneuvers, but when it becomes the real thing, Frank Beal says they have to make the most of what they've got to work with and do the best they can. Joe Oliver, Action News 5.